Hey, CheckMates, quick one before we dive in. The Why Am I Still Single podcast is now on WhatsApp. Do you want to gist with me, get exclusive content, sneak peeks, or maybe even find love? Click the link in the show notes or send your WhatsApp number to edgar@checkedgar.com and join the family. Now, let's get into today's madness, shall we?
Listeners note, warning, this show is loaded with gist so powerful, it might just push you into a relationship and straight down the aisle. If you're not ready to hear wedding bells and say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes, listen at your own risk. Edgar doesn't lie. Check Edgar out.
Okay. There is one thing I cannot stand in this life, and that's seeing another man cry. I know, real men cry. A real man should express his emotions, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get it. But my brother, please, do not cry in front of me. Because once you start crying, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do. Do I console you? Do I cry too? Or do I just slowly leave the room and act like I did not see you? I really do not know. What am I supposed to do? See, my father, that man never cried in front of us. And trust me, he cried a lot. The first time I saw him cry, we had just gotten the news that his mother had passed. The whole room changed. It got hot. His face turned red. He grabbed me by the waist and let out this deep broken wail. Tears running down his face, mucus dripping from his nose. It was like his whole soul was leaking out of him, and all he could do was call her name over and over and over again. Maybe he thought the more he said it, the faster she would return. And me, I just stood there watching. I did not know what to say. I did not know what to do. I wasn't ready for that level of pain. But in that moment, life taught me two things. One, no matter how strong you think a man is, life will break him. And two, one day, life was going to take my father from me too. That day, something in my father died. I don't know what it is, but there was just something different about him. See, life doesn't care about how tough you are. Life will push you in the face, take your house rent, and make you cry in front of strangers. But here's the thing, you don't get to choose the pain, but you get to choose what to do with it. So when life hits you, take the hit, wipe your face, and keep moving. Because the only thing worse than falling is staying down. My father didn't stay down, nah. He couldn't afford to. He knew he had a family that loved him, his wife, his 3 kids. And obviously, I am the best out of the 3. That's not up for debate. I mean, my siblings are alright, but let's be honest, if my parents had to pick one of us and disown the other 2, I am sure they will pick me, right? I know they will pick me. Even with all that pain, he still stayed strong. He would wake up the next day, crack jokes, and keep a wide smile on his face like nothing happened. My dad is a superhero. Like, I knew he was hurting, but he made sure we didn't carry that weight with him. It's crazy how parents do that. They'll be going through hell, but they will still ask you if you have eaten. Meanwhile, they're out there holding back tears and fighting demons we don't even know exist. And that's life, man. That's life. Pain doesn't wait for permission. It kicks in the door, sits on your couch, and dares you to do something about it. Some people drown in it. Some people let it turn them bitter. But the real ones wear their pain like armor and keep moving. Because strength isn't about never breaking. It's about how you put yourself back together. So when life knocks you down, get up. When it punches you in the chest, take a deep breath and keep walking. And when it steals your joy, man, just laugh. Because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, life goes on. And you'd better just go with it. Now, I know what you're probably wondering. Edgar, your montages are meant to be hilarious. What is going on? Why are you making us feel like this? And how does this connect with the title, Why Am I Still Single? A podcast about love, finding a wife, and comedy. Why am I trying to make you guys feel so emotional and teary this hot afternoon or evening or morning, depending on when you are listening? Okay. If you can be a little patient, yeah? Everything will make sense. Just relax. Edgar doesn't lie. Let's go.
Check. This is a Check Edgar production. A Check Edgar production. This is for the single guys and the single ladies. Edgar doesn't lie. Why am I still single? Still single. Why am I still?
I want a wife and a family. This kind of life is not right for me. I told my guys how things can be. When I fall in love, I fall for real. I know you want me, don't waste my time. I want a girl that is set and fine. I'm going crazy, so please be mine. God, please, why?
Okay, see, my father's tears aren't the reason I hate seeing men cry. No, as a matter of fact, I was happy my father cried. He needed it. We needed it too. Somehow, that moment bonded the family more than usual. But the reason I hate seeing men cry, that one is because of Shegun. When Shegun wanted to ask Kofo out, I begged him not to do it. Not just me, everyone with sense begged him not to do it. But Shegun had fallen so deeply in love that at one point, we started looking like his enemies. We, his best friends, started looking like his enemies. Shegun, this girl is using you. Shegun did not hear. Shegun, this girl is after your money. Shegun did not care. Shegun, this girl is cheating on you. Shegun did not mind. Shegun had introduced this girl to everyone in the world as his girlfriend and future wife. He was proud, chest out, smiling like he just won the jackpot. Meanwhile, this girl was out here moving mad from one chief to another Alaji. Now, I wasn't going to expose Kofo, but Shegun hasn't known this until now. Do you know that Kofo tried hitting on me? And not just me, Fela, Noel, and almost all of Shegun's friends. This girl was running a full-time relationship Ponzi scheme, and yet Shegun did not see it that way. Until the day Kofo broke up with Shegun, that's when we saw a different kind of heartbreak. And when I say heartbreak, I mean full-blown Nollywood-level tragedy. The type where the guy goes outside when it's raining just so his tears can blend in with the weather. Shegun was crying like a wounded dog. Shegun was rolling on the floor. He even threatened to take his life at some point. Shegun spent days, if not weeks, crying. Shegun cried and cried a lot. Have you ever been heartbroken like a babe would break your heart to the point where it leads you to Christ? Shegun started going to church after this girl broke up with him. Shegun cried from morning till night. Why? Because his babe, Kofo, said she was not interested anymore. Shegun was running mad little by little. We did not know. Now, Shegun's madness came in stages. First, he stopped eating. And when I say stopped, I mean we tried everything. Begging, bribing, threatening, nothing worked. Instead, he kept screaming, Kofo! Kofo! I want my Kofo! Kofo! Like she owed him money and ran away. Then he switched up his entire music taste overnight. This was a guy who was a hardcore Reminisce and Olamide fan. Baddest guy ever live it. Next thing we knew, it was Westlife, Adele, Johnny Drill, Billie Eilish. On repeat. If Heartbreak had a soundtrack, Shegun was curating the playlist. Shegun did not only cry crocodile tears, he added hippopotamus and alligator. Then he started writing some crazy things on his WhatsApp status. Love is a scam. Life makes no sense. Some people will use you and move on. God, when? We knew he was gone, but the final stage that made us use ropes to hold him down was when Shegun started breaking things. It was bad. This guy would just wake up and shout, "Kofo!" at the top of his lungs and destroy everything. Plates, chairs, his ironing table, even his dining chairs did not survive. That was when we, the Association of Friends, knew it was time to step in. Because while Shegun was here breaking household items, Kofo was out there enjoying her life with one Alaji on Snapchat. Kofo was running mad for love with Alaji, and Shegun was running mad like real madness. I remember that Tuesday. Myself, Fela, Noah, TJ, and Lancelot found ourselves in a WhatsApp group titled Operation Save Shegun. The moment I saw Fela was the admin, I knew we were in trouble. Nothing good ever comes out of Fela leading a mission. Nothing. Fela was like, we should suggest ways to help him. Now, I being the only one with sense in the group, suggested that we all move in with him for a while. Keep him company and just distract him from thinking or talking about Kofo. Fela just shuts it down immediately. Edgar, what if they talk? What if he breaks one of our bones out of frustration? And honestly, I agree. My bones were the softest, and I wasn't about to leave Shegun's house incomplete. So we all agreed that it wasn't the best idea. Now, Noel said he had a beautiful idea. Please listen, only for him to open his mouth and suggest that we beg Kofo in person to talk to him. That if Kofo sees Shegun begging in person, she will accept him. All of us disagreed immediately. Kofo didn't care about Shegun, and seeing her would only make things worse. After 30 minutes of going back and forth and people sharing their ideas, all of them, not me, all of them agreed on one thing. Again, this was their idea, not mine. It was they that chose this idea, not me. They agreed that the best option was for him to drink his sorrow away in a lounge with beautiful women. Now, I want you guys to guess who championed this idea. Of course, it was Fela. Fela swore that alcohol would make him forget Kofo. He even promised to arrange 2 baddies to keep Shegun company. I hated the idea, but everyone felt it was perfect. Lancelot was down as long as he didn't have to pay for his drinks. TJ was excited. He had not gone out in a very long time. Noel was extra excited because as long as they were babes, he was showing up early. So here's the thing, Shegun likes to drink, alright? As a matter of fact, his love language is beer. So convincing him wasn't going to be a hard nut to crack. He loved drinking. The day we all agreed to visit Shegun and beg him to come to the lounge was the first time I saw him cry in person. And mind you, this was 3 weeks after Kofo had served him heartbreak for breakfast. 3 whole weeks, and the tears were still fresh. At that moment, I started wondering, if he's still crying like this after 3 weeks, then how did he cry the day it actually happened? See, I have never pitied a man like I pitied Shegun that day. I was just there, pitying him like a newborn baby, cracking dumb jokes, doing everything to make him laugh. Meanwhile, Fela, our very own minister of bad decisions, was shouting from behind me, "Shegun, my guy, I don't arrange fine babes for you. Big nyash, very big. Just say yes, I swear you will like her. Big nyash day."
Wait, we'll be right back after a quick break.
Okay, now real quick. If you are loving the podcast, you will love the CheckMates WhatsApp community. We're talking behind the scenes gist, crazy dating stories, upcoming episode teasers, and a few surprise giveaways just for members. Now click the link in the story notes to join or send your WhatsApp number to edgar@checkedgar.com. Trust me, it's sweeter over there. Okay. Bye-bye. Now, it is also very important to note that Segun was a devoted fan of Big Nyash. If there were a national association of Nyash lovers, Segun would be the treasurer. Segun and Big Nyash, they are like this, super close. After what felt like hours of begging, Segun finally agreed. He got up, took his bath, put on some nice clothes, and for the first time in weeks, he looked like a functioning human being. Mission accomplished. Or so we thought. When we got to the lounge that evening, the place was packed. Fela had reserved a space for us, and once we settled in, he wasted no time. Bottles of alcohol started arriving like wedding souvenirs. Everybody drank. Now, I don't drink, but to encourage Segun and make him happy, I took a little sip. Just a little sip, Like play. Two ladies with serious nyash showed up, and their target, Segun. They started dancing, moving, pressing their bodies, seducing him like he was the grand prize in a reality show. And for the first time since Kofo shattered his heart, Segun smiled. That was when I knew that nyash has power on its own. The whole squad cheered. Omo, our boy is back. Shego. They were so happy. But me, I wasn't. Because excuse me, how can Nyash be the reason for your first smile in 3 weeks? Not food, not family, not the love of God. Nyash. Big Nyash. Anyways, everything was going smoothly until Fela now decided to ruin the night. Guys, let's play one game like this. And that was it. The game was titled Point and Kill. And if only I had known that day, I would have stayed at home. In fact, I would have just switched off my phone and slept like Adam before Eve was created. But no, I had taken my second bottle. My brain had entered airplane mode. And before I knew it, I agreed to play. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the beginning of the end. I took a risk that almost ended my life. We'll be right back after this useless commercial break. Let's go. Promo. Checkmates. Come. Let me ask you, when last did you hear a story that stayed with you? A story that made you laugh, cry, or even feel seen? Welcome to the Corner Stories, a live storying community where real people share real stories based on a theme. No filters, no fiction. Just raw, funny, heartbreaking, and beautiful moments told live on stage. Every month, I will be joining 7 amazing storytellers to take the mic and share something personal. And one of those storytellers could be you. Do you have a story that deserves to be heard? Then stay tuned for show dates, upcoming themes, and how to take the stage. For all the info behind the scenes gist and to maybe tell your own story, join the Corner Stories WhatsApp community today. Click the CheckMates WhatsApp community link in the show notes or send your number to edgar@checkedgar.com and come find your corner, because at the corner, everybody has a story. What's yours? The moment I heard point and kill, the only thing that came to mind was fish. Have you ever visited a catfish market and wanted to buy catfish? You have to point at the exact fish you want, then someone kills it for you and packs it in a bag. Exactly. That's the only point and kill I know. I did not even know there was another meaning for point and kill. Talk less of a game called point and kill. Now, because it is Fela, I already know the game had trouble around it. Fela is the kind of friend who would shoot you and rush you to the best hospital so you do not die. In his quest to make Segun happy, Fela thought of a wild game called Point and Kill. Now, if you have never played Point and Kill before, or if this is your first time hearing about the game called Point and Kill, let me break it down for you. By the way, I am not advising you to ever play it, but if you know that you have coconut head, you know the hear word, you can try it. Now, the rule of the game is actually very simple. Fela would spin a bottle. When the bottle stops, the person at the bottom of the bottle gets to point at any lady in the lounge. Oh yes, any lady in the lounge. I repeat, lady in the lounge. And then the person at the top of the bottle must walk up to that woman or that lady and kill her with your charms. You win when you return to the group with her phone number. But if she ignores you, embarrasses you, or worse, says, "Sorry, please, I have a boyfriend," you pay a 50,000 naira fine. Yes, so 50,000 for failing to package yourself properly in public. Now, this wasn't just a game. There was money involved, so you had to take it super seriously. I was going to cancel the idea immediately because I could see the problems from a mile away. But when Fela asked Segun what he thought about the game, Segun smiled and said he wanted to play. It was at this point I knew that I had entered a serious problem. So I started thinking of ways to leave that space. I tried to use the restroom. They did not allow me to go. I tried a fake phone call, but they collected my phone. I knew I had no choice but to play. By the way, again, I usually wouldn't drink, but just because of Segun, my head was already turning on its own. I wasn't drunk, I was just a little tipsy. My eyes were seeing different things. Inside my head, I was sweating. I knew it was a bad idea before we even started playing the game. When I looked around the lounge to see the girls that were around, I immediately knew the idea was bad for 3 different reasons. The first reason was that most of the ladies in the lounge either came in with strong men or carried their faces like strong men. From the way they looked, it was giving, if you don't have money, don't even try to talk to me. Even their eyelashes alone were looking like they could fight. These weren't just women, no, these were boss babes. Boss babes. The guys that came with them had money, strength, big lips, big chest, big stomach, and everything Lagos men will oppress you with. I knew I didn't stand a chance, and I did not want problem. The second reason was that my friends were from the pit of hell. I'm not even joking. These guys are not just mad, they are licensed by Lucifer himself. Even Satan will look at them and say, fear God now. Lancelot has been plotting my downfall since 2014, ever since I disgraced him at Unilag when he wore a fake designer belt and I announced it during a class presentation. He has been waiting patiently, like a Yoruba demon at a wedding, to see my downfall. Now let's talk about Noel. Noel is the type of guy who will hype you into doing nonsense with full confidence. One time, he told a friend to approach a babe at a wedding and say, "Hi, I saw you from across the road and my heart did a backflip." The girl just laughed at this my guy, posted the whole thing on Twitter, and people started insulting this guy so bad, Noel, don't believe Noel for anything, Noel will ginger you like a motivational speaker, and by the time you realize you have entered trouble, he's already filming it for his WhatsApp story. Then there is Fela. Now Fela created the game. Just that alone should scare you. Any game designed by Fela has only one rule: somebody must cry. That guy is not well at all. His problem started from when he was a child. Only TJ and Segun gave me small hope. And even that was like trusting NEPA. Anything your eyes see, you collect. Now the third reason was that the small alcohol I took was already telling me lies. I told you guys earlier that I don't drink. But because of Shegun, I know I'm repeating this thing, but because of Shegun, I drank small. Now, small had turned to semi-drunken confidence. You know that level of tipsy where everything feels like a good idea until you stand up and realize that, wait, the ground is not straight. I was entering a game of shame, tipsy, trapped, and targetless. That was how we started playing the game. Now, fella spun the bottle and it stopped at TJ. Now, TJ is an albino with pink lips and yellow confidence. So we already knew it was going to be super hilarious without even thinking twice. Fella picked one fat chilling girl at the bar for TJ. And we all started laughing, including Shegun. TJ didn't even flinch. He took 3 deep breaths like he was preparing for a 100-meter sprint, grabbed a glass of alcohol, downed it in one go, and marched towards her with the kind of boldness that only exists in action movies. We were watching like football fans during a penalty shootout. Next thing, we saw the babe smiling. Then she giggled. Then she touched her chest. It was like love at first sight. Nollywood edition. TJ brought out his phone from his left pocket, gave it to her, and she just smiled and wrote something in it. TJ walked back, silent like a soldier. Then like a movie, he slammed his phone on the table and flashed the screen. Bam! Phone number secured. Bad guy. We were just screaming, TJ, bad guy, boss of the streets, lover boy of the year, who dey? Next up, it was TJ's turn to spin. The bottle danced, wobbled, and stopped right at Lancelot. Now, Lancelot is tall, he's like 6'4", and he moves like he owns a modeling agency. But TJ had no mercy at all. He had no mercy in his soul. Without blinking, TJ pointed at a girl who couldn't have been more than, let's say, 4'11", short, round, and dancing with the energy of a backup dancer in a Zazu music video. It was crazy. We burst out laughing like wild goats because we knew something epic was going to happen. Even Shegun was crying from laughter, holding his stomach like he had just been stabbed with joy. Shegun had not laughed like this in a while. The funniest part was Lancelot's face. He did not even know what to do. Lancelot walked over to her, his shadow casting over her like an eclipse. The girl, bless her heart, barely saw him coming. She was busy vibing to her own music, completely oblivious to the fact that a giant was approaching her for her number. Now, we all knew Lancelot was tall, but seeing him stand next to her was like watching a giraffe beside a guinea pig. He crouched down, looked her in the eyes, and said with his deepest voice I've ever heard, he said, "Hey, what is your name?" We were shocked. It wasn't the fact that he said anything. It was the fact that he said it with so much intensity. Even the girl too shocked. No one that tall has ever toasted her before in her short life. She was smiling for a while. Lancelot looked her dead in the eyes and said, "I'll be back. Hold on to this." And he handed her his phone. She took the phone like she had just received a VIP pass to a Wizkid concert. She handed him back the phone and it was number secured. The funniest part was that she even blew him a kiss before he walked away. We were laughing like this is crazy and wild, bro. We were all in shock. All of us, including Shegun. Lancelot just walked back to the table like nothing happened. In that moment, I realized something. Lancelot was born for this game. The rest of us were just trying to figure out how to keep our dignity. And just like that, the game was no longer fun. It was a serious competition, a battle for glory, pride, and a phone number. Oh boy. When Lancelot spun the bottle, it landed at Noel, and immediately I started sweating. See, Noel is the kind of friend your parents warn you about. If Satan had a group project and needed reliable demons, Noel would be the team lead. The moment the bottle stopped in front of him, everybody went like a Nollywood soundtrack. Even Shegun, who was heartbroken some minutes ago, started laughing and clapping like an usher in church. Now, Lancelot stood up, cracked his knuckles, and looked around the lounge like he was scanning for victims. And then he pointed. Guys, he pointed at the only woman in the lounge who had a security guard standing beside her. I said, Jesus. The woman looked like she was the personal assistant to a cult leader. Everything about her screamed untouchable. She had on dark shades inside the lounge, long red nails that looked like they could open bottle caps, and a bodyguard who looked like he had buried people for less. There is nothing you can tell me the bodyguard has killed someone before, whether 2 or 3, but not 1. I was sitting beside Noel, so I turned to him and said, my guy, I beg, just pay the 50k. We can do GoFundMe for you. You don't have to die here. But Noel, the demon child, he just smiled like it was nothing. He stood up, adjusted his belt like a man going to war, gulped the rest of his drink, and said, relax, make you not dey wait. Ladies and gentlemen, that was when I knew Noel was no longer on earth. His spirit had left him. Maybe it went to heaven to report or to hell to rehearse. I don't even know, but the spirit left his body. He started walking towards the woman like a Mission Impossible scene. I swear I heard the background music in my head. As he was walking towards her, the bouncer noticed him. The moment he got close, the bouncer stepped forward. Before anything could happen, Noel dipped his hand into his pocket, pulled out his wallet, and handed the bouncer 2,000 naira. We were like, wait be this? The bouncer collected the money. Now, not because it was enough, but because he was confused. Then Noel now turned to the lady and said something we couldn't even hear. But the next thing we saw, this lady started laughing. She laughed and laughed and laughed. She was laughing so loud. This woman who looked like she could eat men for breakfast was blushing like someone just told her she looked like Rihanna. Only God knows what this boy was saying. The room was silent for 2 seconds. You could hear our collective shock. Next thing, Noel gave her his phone. She typed something, gave it back. Number secured. He turned and walked back to us like a man who had just robbed a bank in broad daylight. Bro, wetin you tell am? Fela asked him. Noel just smiled and said, I only eliminated my target. Whoa! The whole table scattered. Everybody kept clapping. Noel, now you. Now, while they were laughing, I was just praying. Not small prayers, though. I was praying in different tongues because I knew that my turn was coming. And everybody at the table was operating under the influence of alcohol, demons, or both. Before I could even finish whispering, Father Lord, if it's my time, take me quickly. Noel spun the bottle. And just like that, the bottle stopped at me. I froze. I couldn't even pretend it was facing someone else. The bottle was pointing at my chest with spiritual accuracy, like it was sent from my village. Noel stood up with the confidence of a man who had just survived death and was now ready to send someone else to meet it. He turned slowly, scanned the entire lounge like a sniper. Then he smiled, the kind of smile that says, you are gonna learn, and you are gonna learn the hard way. And then he pointed. He pointed to this beautiful light-skinned lady, sitting all alone, like a goddess who had just descended to earth. She was stunning, light-skinned, sitting alone like a goddess waiting for trouble. Her makeup was given expensive, her dress was given dangerous, and her aura was given try me and die. My brain was screaming, abort mission, run. But the rules were the rules. And 50k was 50k. If everyone can do it, why can't I? At least let me try first now. So I stood up on shaking legs and started walking towards her. I did not even know how to start the conversation. Should I go with romance, rich, or should I go with funny? I was confused. When I got to her, she had AirPods on, which made the case harder. I knew I had to get her attention, so I sat directly beside her, smiling, and picked up her bottle of drink. Immediately, she removed the AirPods and said to me,
"Excuse me, somebody is sitting there. The seat isn't free."
I don't even know where my response came from, but I said, "So sorry, I thought it was reserved for my heart to sit next to yours." The statement shocked the lady. She started smiling. She now said,
"Nice line, but someone will be joining me soon."
I now said, "Someone is already here, looking at your beautiful eyes." She started blushing. She now continued,
"I don't think you like another man sitting so close."
I looked at her and said, "Then he shouldn't have left a pretty angel sitting alone." She started laughing. Me too, I was laughing. She now said,
"He went to get drinks."
I quickly replied. I said, "If you take from my ocean of love, you will never thirst again." She was laughing so hard. I could tell that she was enjoying it. I was also enjoying it, but my friends were upset. I was wasting their time. She now said,
"It's obvious you're a sweet talker. I hope you have the power to back up that mouth."
I just smiled and said, "Forget the power in my mouth. Let me put my power in your mouth." She was silent and shocked. Even me, I knew that it was the alcohol in me that was doing most of the talking, because on a normal day, I am not that creative. I am not even that smart. She now asked me,
Okay, please. What is your name and what do you want?"
And I said, "My name is Edgar and I want your number. I promise not to disturb you or ever call you. Please write it on my phone so I will remember." She started blushing. The moment I brought out my phone to give her, I just heard one loud voice from the back.
"Honey, who is this?"
I froze. Something was telling me to stand up and apologize. Another thing was telling me to be macho. As I turned back, I saw one tall, muscular, angry-looking man with tribal marks and red eyes. The kind of man who looks like he eats dumbbells for breakfast. He looked at me. "Young man, who are you? Baby, is this the Chinedu guy you keep telling me about?" For the first time in my life, I forgot my name. I started to stammer. Before I could correct him and say I wasn't Chinedu, I just realized that I was hearing the echo of the wall in the lounge. The man had given me one dirty backhand slap like that moved and adjusted my brain. The whole lounge went quiet. If there is one thing I'm grateful for that night, it is that the slap cleared all the alcohol immediately. Immediately after the slap, my brain came together. I knew I had messed up. The guy wanted to slap me again, but this time, I did not allow that. Immediately, he grabbed my shirt and was about to throw me across the lounge like DJ Switch. Shegun and the rest of the guys rushed over, ready to draw blood. I was super proud of the boys, Fela was ready to fight. He told the guy to leave me. When he refused, Fela slapped him. That was when I knew that, oh boy, war was coming. The guy just nodded, clapped his hand for a bit, and just left the lounge. Came back with two hefty guys in a minute. Muscles everywhere. I wanted to start begging everybody to calm down, but my guys did not care or show any sign of fear. They wanted to fight. Now, the thing is that me, I can't fight, but okay, let me not say I cannot fight. My mom told me not to be fighting in public. I was just looking for a place to hide my head because the slap I received was still upgrading my operating system. Before I could see Jennifer Lopez, someone threw a glass cup towards TJ that tore his nose, and then hell broke loose. They all started fighting, including Shegun. It was pure madness. At one point, I saw Lancelot trying to fight with one of the guys. Now, his short babe that he toasted some minutes ago joined him to fight too. I was like, see love. Shegun too was fighting. Even Fela with his short leg kicked the man like he was playing Mortal Kombat. I said, see action film. I did not fight anybody. I went to hide under the table far from them. Shegun was fighting too. It was looking like American film. After about 10 minutes of fighting, the security of the lounge now came in to separate us and stop the fight. My face was swollen from the slap. I don't even know how, but my shirt was torn. My dignity gone. Noel had a little injury and Shegun did as well. Fela looked at me and said, "Omo, Edgar, you lost the game and still lost your face. Kai, 50K fine, they wait you." Now I was in serious pain, but I still managed to laugh. I just had to laugh. We took Shegun to the hospital because his hand was swelling like agege bread. On our way there, everyone was quiet. No Bluetooth, no speaker, no noise. Just shame and pain filling the car like body spray. Me? I sat at the back holding my torn shirt together like a window on a budget. Fela had tissue in his nose, bleeding small blood like a Nollywood actor. Noel was driving like a madman who had no regrets. It wasn't a funny evening. When we got to the hospital, Shegun got treated and they gave him drip and injection, and suddenly his heartbreak was healed. You would not believe that this Shegun boy looked at me and said, "Edgar, that fight healed me. Edgar, I actually needed that fight. That fight helped me forget her. Thank you. Thank you so much." Now I wanted to cry. "So you are telling me I nearly died so you could get over a girl?" I just shook my head. So yeah, after all the madness at the lounge, the torn shirt, the swollen face, the 50K fine, and the full-blown WrestleMania just because Shegun was heartbroken, I got home, looked in the mirror, and laughed. I was laughing so hard, but it wasn't funny. I wasn't laughing because I found it funny. I was laughing because if I didn't laugh, I would cry. And if I cry, my own body will be confused like, bro, are we dying or are we heartbroken? Pain doesn't always come from losing someone or failing at something. Sometimes it comes from spinning bottle games with friends who hate peace. Sometimes it comes with a slap from a jealous boyfriend who thinks you are someone else. And sometimes it comes from a cab driver who takes a longer route just so you can pay more. That night, as I cleaned my bruised lips and peeled my dignity off the floor, something clicked, and it brought me back to my dad. That man faced real pain that had nothing to do with women or lounge bottles, and yet he stood tall. He didn't fold. He didn't let it change the way he loved us. Instead, he carried the pain like luggage on his head and still found time to ask if we had eaten. Whether it's heartbreak or hospital visits, loss or love, whether it's watching your father cry for the first time or watching your friend cry over a girl named Kofo who is after your money, pain will come and you won't always know what to do with it. But as I always say, when life slaps you with pain, you have two options. One, you can sit in it, cry and let it break you. Or two, you can just laugh like a madman, wipe your bloody mouth and keep walking. And yes, this is a relationship podcast. Yes, I am still single. But let's be honest. If you've ever loved and lost, been slapped in public, fought in a lounge, or even cried in your dad's arms, congratulations, you have been in a relationship. So why am I single? Maybe it's because I attract drama. Maybe it's because Shegun's heartbreak nearly killed me. Or maybe, just maybe, God is still preparing the woman who can handle my trauma and TJ's albino confidence. Either way, life goes on, and so will this podcast. Welcome to why am I still single. See you guys next week. Let's go. Edgar doesn't lie. And that's the end of this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then don't forget to subscribe and share the podcast with those who are single, dating, or married. Now, rate the podcast and drop a comment. And yes, you can donate to support the podcast. $3 will go a long way. Do not forget to join the WhatsApp community by clicking the link on the show notes. If you have a story to share, then please send it to me through my email address, edgar@checkedgar.com. Or for a quicker response, you can chat me with the chat box on my website, www.checkedgar.com, or just tell me about it in the WhatsApp group. Edgar doesn't lie. Now remember, the podcast ends the day I get married, so don't forget to tell your beautiful friends that Edgar is single and he would love to go on a date with her. If that lady is you, then please send me a message to my email address at edgar@checkedgar.com. See you on Friday. Edgar doesn't lie. Check Edgar out. Check Edgar out. Thank you for listening, my people. If you had fun, don't keep it to yourself. Join the CheckMates WhatsApp community. It is where we vibe, laugh, and maybe cry small. But most importantly, we connect. Click the link in the show notes or email your number to edgar@checkedgar.com to join us. Until next week, remember, Edgar doesn't lie.